Real Talk Twin Cities, we're back. Welcome back. Cheryl Kempenick, Coldwell Banker Burnet. I'm Eric the Lone Guy, Eric Purius, Bell Mortgage. Our last segment, we've got Mortgage Checkup. I'll have rates for you, some good ideas, Ask the Expert, some featured listings, and some inside stuff on duplex. Apparently, Cheryl knows where to get them. And we're going to talk about rent versus own, how much you're worth after 5 years. And, you know, you might be surprised. Renting versus owning 5 years later, your net worth is quite a bit higher. And let's start off with Ask the Expert. All right. Today's question, actually it wasn't today, it was a few days ago, but Brian from Cottage Grove called, or actually put it online at realtalktwincities.com. His question, if I have a purchase agreement and it doesn't reference the transfer of any personal property, i.e. refrigerator, washer, dryer, etc., but the parties discussed including it in the sale, is the seller obligated to leave the personal property at closing? So if I read that correctly, if it's not mentioned specifically in the purchase agreement, can they take the refrigerator and washer and dryer and the buyer is high and dry?
You know, that's a really good question. The lenders have changed their requirements as far as what can be on a purchase agreement because of all of the foreclosures. So now most lenders will not allow any personal property to be written into the purchase agreement. So if the seller is offering their kitchen appliances to stay, it must be written up on a separate bill of sale so that you can take that with you. Otherwise, if it is not in writing and signed off by both the buyer and the seller is under no obligation to transfer anything to you.
Wow, interesting. Okay, well that's good to know. Otherwise you could end up having to go to Best Buy right after you buy your house, I guess, huh?
And open up a new credit card because you closed.
Right. Well, it'd be okay by then.
Here's a question. Can you make the seller take them? Like in our scenario, every appliance was shot.
If it's written into the purchase agreement, anything that is attached to the property stays.
Okay.
And so a lot of those things are included by default. But if it's anything freestanding, then you could say, we want that out. But that should also be discussed prior to the walkthrough. Because you don't want to show up right before closing and say, get rid of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know. Another thing that's good to know are mortgage rates and whether you should do something or not. And the best way to find out is a mortgage checkup. Uriah, when was your last mortgage checkup?
You know, I think it's been about 1.5 years since my last mortgage checkup, so I think I might be due, Eric.
Yeah, I think you are. And how long does it take about? I don't know, our last one, 10 minutes?
I think even less than that. I
Right.
think most of that was just our casual conversation that we're so good at.
And we figured out that you should do nothing.
But I think it might be time to look at that again, is what you were telling me
Right.
just earlier, rates being as
Yep.
low as they are again.
That's right. Yeah, you can do no-cost refinances in the high 3s right now on a 30-year fixed, low 3s on a 15-year. So if you can drop your rate, say half a point, it doesn't sound like much. Gee, I don't know if it's worth it. I saved $90 a month, but if it's free, it's worth it.
Free is great.
Yep.
And you're going to save money.
That's right. And free, and it's not a secret, the rate's a little bit higher with the no-cost mortgage, but it works because, you know, we pay the closing costs with a lender credit. Nothing gets added to your loan amount, and you might save, I mean, anywhere from, $80-$90 on the low side to $300 is typical. So it's it's a no-brainer.
It's worth it.
Yep.
Well,
Eric,
like you were telling me, Eric, not to step on you there, but you don't know how much it's worth until you give a call.
that's true. Reach out at realtalktwincities.com. Eric the Lone Guy, get a hold of us. And Cheryl, I know that you have some featured listings today that you were going to share with us. I saw you leafing through. It looks like you've got a lot of. What's going on, Cheryl? You're just blowing up.
You know what? People are getting off the fence, and I'm
Guess
really
so.
excited about that. Buyers are coming out of the woodwork with the interest rates being so low, inventory's been low, sellers are finally putting their properties on the market.
Great.
So this week, I listed 2 properties at River Park Lofts in Lowertown. This is an amazing urban neighborhood right on Mears Park on the Skyway, so get in touch with me for those. Another one at Cloud 9 in Minnetonka. This is a favorite for Minnesota Twins. Remember that, Donna?
Yes.
We've run into quite a bit of them over there. So that's really close to downtown, right on 169. Another great condo over on the light rail in South Minneapolis. I do have a lot in Edina. Walkout lot, so quite a few properties. Anything you want to talk about, Donna?
Yeah, I do have a listing that just came on about a week ago in Plymouth. It is a beautiful townhome, priced at $320,000. No basement, so it's on a slab. Gorgeous setting, very private, nice sunroom. Have had a lot of activity. I think it's going to go quick.
And all of this information can be found at realtalktwincities.com. You can find our listings, find out where our open houses are going to be, or you can call 612-735-0553. Hey, Eric, I was at a listing appointment a couple days ago and thought about you for our little rent versus own scenario.
Yep.
This is a duplex, and it's near Hamlin University, which is a great location, especially for law students. So this guy, he purchased his property 30 years ago for $55,000, now selling it for $200,000. He's got a $130,000 gain on this property, and he's been receiving $13,000 in annual profit over the last 30 years.
Wow.
Great for this guy. His total gain amounts to about $524,000 before any tax savings. Now, of course, he's probably going to get hit with a little capital gains, but
Yep.
he's done. He's moving on. So, what do you think for buyers when it comes to renting versus owning on something like this?
Well, I think this guy, I mean, I know it's real, I know it's true. That's probably on the lucky side of things, you know, on the high side. For most folks, renting versus owning is significant, not quite that significant, but you might be amazed. For the typical, say, $250,000 purchase, rent versus own, after about 5 years, your net worth will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $46,000 more, having purchased rather than renting. And that takes into account sort of average, you know, very modest appreciation and your tax bracket. However, in the case of a duplex, you're talking about a duplex here, right?
That's right.
Okay, so if you buy a duplex and you rent out the other side versus renting somewhere in 5 years, it almost doubles, simply because, say, your mortgage payment ends up being, you know, $1,200 or $1,300, and you're getting $1,100 for rent. Well, you're only paying $200 a month. So instead of being worth $46,000, you're worth something like $90,000 more in 5 years. So that's almost, I mean, that's that's close to $20,000 a year, $18,000 a year versus renting. That's a lot. Think
Yeah,
about
so you're
that.
practically living for free.
Right.
And then you
Yep.
can take all of that savings and you can call Elise and you can figure out how to invest that money so you have an even higher rate of return, right,
Yeah,
Elise?
absolutely. Or you can retire early or take vacations.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have many clients who have many just single-family homes or duplexes that they've been renting out, and they literally do retire in their mid-40s and do nothing but collect rents.
That's amazing. Duplexes are hard to find. I mean, we were talking about this before, and I said, "Yeah, great if you can find the duplex." But you said,
I can find the duplexes.
"Is that okay?"
Yep,
All right.
investment properties, I know where they're at, I know the best neighborhood, so please call 612-735-0553.
All right, and if you want a mortgage checkup, Eric the Loan Guy, or realtalktwincities.com, get a hold of me, give us a call, send an email. We're here to help, ask the expert, whatever you need. We're your local mortgage and real estate experts every week at 4 o'clock on AM 1280 The Patriot. We'll see you next week. Thank you.